darkest dens of fashions to talk to that Count Genius Giorgio di Sant'Angelo. We're going to see a lot of his clothes he's doing now, which are very feminine and fluid. Then we're going to go back, sort of retrospectively, to look at those patches of color which immediately made Giorgio famous on the international scene. Then there was the gypsy look and the Indian look, and my God, Giorgio, there have been so many looks that you've originated, really, that have gone out, around the world. Do you feel powerful, and how do you feel about, being such an influential member of the fashion community?
Oh, I feel very happy about it, but I don't think that I'm that influenced because I really do all of those things mostly for myself because I need changes and I like people to look different mostly. I get very tired of people looking the same, and I think psychologically it does so much good to people to make big changes in the way they look and they represent themselves. So I think it's very important. I want to talk to Diana Ross, yes.
Okay, Giorgio's going over to talk to Diana, and
Cheyenne's going to powder your nose.
Cheyenne's going to powder my nose. Oh my God, I think the people out there must wonder what it's like, being on television. It's hell.
I'm the makeup
It's great,
artist for the
great
moment.
being touched by Cheyenne, though.
Good. Just a little shine by your eye there. You look wonderful. It's a wonderful color.
What are you doing to me?
All the TV makeup artists
If
do
Nixon
this.
can do it, I can do it, right?
Right.
Huh? Okay. Cheyenne, you wear a lot of Giorgio's clothes, and whenever I see you out, you're in something fantastic. How does it feel to be in Giorgio's clothes?
Very feminine this season because he's doing everything in chiffon and pastels. And you feel very special because he makes such expensive clothes.
Is it true that a lot of you girls, sort of get to wear the clothes and don't have to buy them? Is it considered good publicity to have the clothes, out there on a lot of the glamour girls that are at all the big parties with all the important men?
I think it is, especially for Giorgio. He's very generous, but I don't think a lot of the girls get to borrow clothes or wear Giorgio's things. I feel very fortunate because he's dressing me for a campaign for...
Look at Gail and Stephanie looking very, that's nice, huh?
Giorgio's new things, yes. I'll,
Is it true they're not wearing anything underneath them?
Yes, I saw them dressed, and they're not.
Hey, can I see you dressed too? What's under there?
Under what, she says.
Under what? Giorgio, I know, is doing the clothes for Diana Ross. He's on the phone with her right now.
That's right. He's doing the
Academy
outfit.
Award.
She's wearing the Academy Award, right. It's really
Right.
beautiful.
In fact, I was I saw him, and heard him writing a letter saying that something about, having her hair slicked back. It would be nice to see her small head. Maybe we're telling everybody what we can expect.
Right,
Huh?
probably.
Hey.
He predicts fashion, surely, as models do too, by becoming famous. And, you do it with the designer, and sometimes you do it on your own. You create an image with the clothes you wear, and people pick up on that kind of thing because they really respect the way you look and would like to look like you.
Listen, is everyone going to be carrying parasols on the island this year?
Yes, in Fire Island, I know they are. It's going to be the
Saint-Tropez
it's going to be the
and,
look. Right.
Mykonos. And
Right, here's Giorgio. You could ask him about that.
Okay. I don't want to ask him about the parasols in a minute, but what did Diana say?
Diana says, then she'll try to wear her hair plain, straight back.
Listen, do they... how do you go about telling someone like Diana Ross what to wear and how to wear it? I mean, tell me what kind of rapport you have with the stars.
Oh, I only work with people that I have rapport, and I only like to work with women that are really absolute women, not with insecurities or women who compete with men. Women that they are independent and secure of themselves, and they're women all the way. So then it's no problem on telling anything.
Tell me, does Diana ever sort of suggest things to you, or is she...
Of course, it's close for her. So of course a woman should suggest, and I suggest to her, but she adapts herself because she has a personality, and she's a woman, so she knows what is better for her. At the same time, I suggest new things.
Does Diana have one of these fabulous things that Stephanie and Gail are prancing around in?
Yes, Diana has a lot of things. I don't think maybe this particular thing, but
Will the women really be carrying parasols all over the place?
yes, I don't think all over the place. I don't think it's too many women they know how to carry parasols. I'm sorry, but I don't think so. But the ones that they know how to carry it, I think it's beautiful.
Is this mostly to protect their skin, or is this just a fashion type of thing? Is there a
Well,
practical...
To begin with, yes, it's practical because I think then too much of sun is really no good.
Hey, listen, you know, I also noticed, looks like
Not good for the skin.
Dr. Owen Track. Listen, I noticed that, oh my God, there's Cheyenne showing some, hey, woo. God, she's beautiful. Tell me, listen, are these your sunglasses too that everyone's wearing?
Everything, I do a complete look. Shoes, sunglasses, accessories, jewelry,
Sheets?
hat, sheets, towels, furniture, everything. I'm an industrial
Where do
designer.
you find the time to do all these things?
There's no time involved. This is all in your head. I have in reverse.
Okay, Giorgio. Tell me, what's it like working with Cheyenne? Did you find her, what do you find
I
her?
found her very exciting, and she's really a woman with a woman's body. And Cheyenne is a woman with a fabulous imagination, and she could become anything and everything. She was Indian and my Indian collection, Gypsy in the Gypsy collection, and she really understands clothes and what a mood is of changing a look.
Well, tell me, do the women at all find it at all? How do they feel about changing from the Indian look to the Gypsy look to the soft feminine look? Do they, the midi, what exactly? Do the women offer any kind of resistance to any of the fashion changes, or do you find them following your lead?
Anything that is new in any form of art has a resistance to it, because people always gets very objective to something that is very new. So my first collection, which was patches of colors and very drapey jersey clothes, when everybody in America was dressing with boxes and zippers in the back. I came to America in 1964, and every woman in America was wearing boxes, printed boxes with zippers in their back, and pre-done bows in the front of their necks. And that's the reason why I got involved in fashion. I thought that I had to teach America a little bit of imagination, and started with simplicity and color. And drapey clothes, everything was drape and tie and wrap. And my next collection was Gypsy, because Gypsy is the most independent woman as a Gypsy, and the Gypsy philosophy is fabulous. And I thought that before the American women could get into what I call today very simple romantic clothes, they should get to an evolution of wearing everything. We Europeans, and I live in South America too, we have a background of all of that which America didn't have at all. So the American women never had a fantasy of dressing before, until I started all of this.
I mean, how did you, come from sort of a, great plantation and sort of the wilds of Argentina? How did you ever get to New York and get to be this great fashion influence?
Well, I got to many different places before I got to fashion. In America, I've been
Architecture?
all over the world. I'm an architect and industrial designer. I have worked with Picasso. I have done ceramic in South America. And I came to America to work with Disney in Los Angeles, and with a contract for a year. And I didn't like Los Angeles and the studio, so I came to New York. And I saw, and through me traveling to America, exactly what I told you: women with boxes and zippers in their back. So
I know this new collection of yours, boxer, zipper, there's nothing underneath, but I guess some sort of a body stocking?
what do you mean nothing underneath?
I understand they're no bras, no panties, no...
No, this is all built-in body clothes underneath. So it's one-step dressing. But it's all built into a net stretch body stocking. So it's one-step dressing. Woman, I will have somebody put this on, and you see what this does. Gets into this dress, I have to wear no underwear underneath.
Is that legal?
Of course it's legal. Everything is legal, especially now that women are so independent. Everything goes legal for them.
Tell me, what about the women that doesn't have that perfect ideal figure? How are they going to fit into and become a part of these clothes? Because I know that although these are your custom clothes and all those Paulette Goddards and Pia Lindstroms and Lena Horns come up here to get all these fabulous things, but what about...
They have the perfect body.
Well, Giorgio, in your clothes, they look like they do.
Well, they do, but because I build all of this body underneath all the clothes of all my private customers. Like, see, everybody wears underneath one, whoop,
Elastic.
body dressing underneath all the clothes. But it's soft
Soft construction?
construction.
Charles James did a lot of that fabulous reapportioning of the bodies.
Those are all what it goes under the clothes, and it's like a soft girdle for women of a certain age. It's really very important to wear all of this underneath the clothes.
This is, Cheyenne's got some little number here on.
I love that you do these scarves to go with the bikinis. It's so elegant, Giorgio.
What have you got under there?
Just me.
It's too tight.
It's too tight, Giorgio. It's all right. Our friend Nettie Abascal wore this.
Yes.
She's got a smaller waist than I think about a size 16.
When you plan this, do you plan that the nipple doesn't come out through these little side pieces?
Definitely.
You really do?
I don't know.
Yes, I really do. I show you something where.
What do you
But
think?
there's nothing wrong with women's bosoms either. Nothing wrong with women's nipples.
Do you think that jewelry is important to this kind of dressing? Earrings and
Yes, definitely. And I haven't shown any jewelry with the daytime clothes. And this is like what I call a romantic mechanic suit. It's pure silk, fagotin.
she's pure silk.
Yeah. And with that dress, it's a simple daytime or afternoon silk dress. She wears
She wears nothing underneath as well.
no raincoat. No, she wears underwear, yes, of course.
Giorgio constantly moving in to help the models tie a scarf or add a little top here and there. Always a perfectionist, right? Huh?
That's enough. It's an afternoon.
It's much like what you're doing right here is what happens when you have all those great fashion shows. You're behind there tying scarves and
Yes, of
putting the
course.
girls together.
Putting the show together, handling the music. You see, every time I put a show, it's almost like putting a Broadway show for me.
My show's the
Because
same
I
thing.
always have a different.
I feel like being in a Giorgio.
Fabulous. That's the only word for it. Feminine and really fabulous. Because he does design for women, not for models, not for mannequins, not for, I don't know, teeny boppers. He designs for women.
I know you've probably worn a lot of Giorgio's clothes through the different looks that he's had, and now we've arrived at sort of a new, soft, feminine look that, you know, all the girls are getting. That's Gail,
I'm Gail.
and that's Stephanie.
That's Stephanie.
I think I'm doing this on purpose. I'm not sure. I don't know. Thank you very much.
And
Stephanie, Stephanie. Ah, hey. How do you feel like, what do you feel like wearing Giorgio? And look at Anton, because all the people want to see you in those beautiful clothes.
Giorgio was the first person that ever booked me when I was 17 and came to New York. He was the first person. And I've been doing his work for 6 years, doing his shows for 6 years, and he's my favorite designer. And he knows all the models, all his models. He knows exactly what they should wear, what kind of clothes they should wear. And he fits on us, he makes the clothes on us from the beginning, and I just love them. And I wish I could afford to buy them all.
Oh, maybe somebody out there will help you out. Oh, hey, there goes Cheyenne, getting into something a little longer. This isn't an afternoon dress, is it, Giorgio?
No.
This is like going swimming. It is.
It's very important, the wrapping and tying of all these clothes.
Giorgio used to be an architect.
Yeah, I know that.
He learned.
Everything is
He
construction
builds his things.
in really clothes. Clothes should really be constructed for bodies and built on bodies. I really think then this is what today's clothes should be all about, is new cuts and new constructions. And like this is like an evening wrap, and I show you what I'll show with it.
Okay.
No! Sensational. I wore one of Giorgio's Indian dresses to a party last night, and everyone said I was sensational.
You see, it's all built into a body. No,
I saw you in one of Giorgio's sort of Indian or gypsy things that you wore at the opening of The Great Gatsby.
Oh, right. That was a cape that he made 3 years ago with an Indian theme, and it's going into the Metropolitan Museum, into the Institute of Fashion that Deanne Vreeland heads at the Metropolitan Museum. It's so special. They're starting to collect Giorgio's things to put them into a collection, his most spectacular things. So eventually, I suppose in like 10 years, they will have a show and show all Giorgio's clothes. Isn't that right, Giorgio?
Yes, the
Well,
Metropolitan
I hope that
Museum.
this afternoon we're going to be able to give the people out there some idea of the different things that Giorgio's done, because I think we're going to go back into that collection a little bit and sort of give a preview of what the Metropolitan will eventually be showing.
Right.
Very good, true.
That's beautiful. What is that? That feels really beautiful.
That is a marabou jacket with an ostrich feather bow with it. And Cheyenne, you can show.
All right, let's get a look at it. Oh, Giorgio! I'd marry you if I got to wear this. I'd marry you for this. It's beautiful.
Would you wear this to your wedding?
I certainly would. I'd be proud to.
Is this a wedding dress?
No. No, it's just a beautiful white
Gave me
dress.
that type of elation when I saw it.
It's that of a virgin bride.
Then she can take the jacket off.
Ooh,
Don't
Cheyenne.
get chilly.
Show us how to tie that.
Yes, but somebody has to take this out of my hand.
This is mine, don't
Yes, this too.
per favore. So, allora, quando c'ho quella là? Me la manda domani?
Domani no.
Lunedì?
Quella fiore?
Quando?
Martedì, è possibile?
Sì, perché questo è il birthday di quella signora. E come
Quando è il-
faccio a
quando è il
vedere? Non lo
suo
so,
compleanno?
sometime la settimana. Ma me lo puoi dare uguale, me la puoi dare uguale precisa?
Uguale la tua? Sì, sì, perché la faccio rifare il lunedì. Allora il martedì te la posso dare.
Mercoledì, ma io non sono qua, vengo, sono a...
Quando viene il martedì?
E non so quando vengo.
Quindi non lo posso mandare in
Sono a
casa tua?
Detroit. Ce l'hai il numero di Detroit, l'indirizzo? Sì. Però...
So, Pat, tell me, what's it like working at Giorgio's?
Very busy. Very busy.
Questo piccolo...
Tell me this, when's Geraldo going to come up here and do some filming with Giorgio?
Oh, yes. He can't do that.
Do you wear all of Giorgio's clothes yourself?
I do. I love them. That's why I started working for him. Not really, because Giorgio's really an artist, and I paint really. I have nothing to do with fashion, basically.
Giorgio says you're incredibly talented, and he feels lucky to have you here.
Yeah,
What's
I
your
paint.
favorite? Ooh, that's pretty, huh? Does Giorgio pick out those color combinations for you?
Yes, he does. He does this in probably several color combinations, whatever's most flattering for different women.
How do you feel when you put on a Giorgio? Do you coordinate your own? Do you change your makeup or anything to go with the clothes or your hairstyle? Is it affected at all by what you're wearing?
Yes, you would if you were wearing it to a party or on the street. For a fashion show, you don't have time to do too much with your hair. You just have to kind of get one basic style and stay with it for the whole show.
When you're doing one of Giorgio's shows, how many dresses do you wear in an hour?
In an hour, let's see, maybe 10.
Oof, that's a lot of in and out. That must be easy to put on and take off.
Oh, they're relatively easy to get on and off. But we have a lot of girls working.
Well, here comes Giorgio with a little extra touch. Giorgio, how do you decide? Do you design the jewelry specifically to go with each collection?
Yes, absolutely. Each collection has complete different feeling or a feeling, and for the feeling to me, the jewelry must go with it. It's very important than the jewelry is.
How do you feel about real jewelry as opposed to costume jewelry?
Oh, I love real jewelry, but I also like costume jewelry. Then it's really good because I don't think you can do so much designing sometimes on real jewelry. You see, because of the cost of the stones and the metals and the jewelry but you can do it on costume jewelry. And it's some costume jewelry that are not really costume jewelry. They are really like real things. They are like pieces of art in the back. And Stephanie, you can take the jacket off for us.
Do you build these dresses on girls, or do you work
Just
with
leave it open so you can see what it does. It's very soft, feminine clothes in beautiful, soft colors.
Is this the famous bias cut that we're all hearing about?
Yes, that's by a cut, but if at the same time it's most of the American clothes is seams on the back and seams on the sides and no cuts on construction. You see the cut of this dress, what it does to her body. Can you show her around, sweetheart? So you see the line in the back, which makes a long back.
How do you?
But this is what is real body clothes.
Could you take us back a little bit and tell me how you first get how do you arrive at this end product? Where do you start, with the fabric or with
for the woman's body? And it's everything around the clothes is nothing else but a woman's body, and what to make a woman's body more beautiful.
Do you sketch
know.
all these designs out on paper, or do you?
Yes, I started on paper, definitely, but then mostly it's all done directly on bodies, you see.
How long does it
On
take, do
the
you think, to
drum.
turn out a dress like this? Start to finish, from idea in your head to finished product right here.
Oh, about 2-3 weeks. You know,
That
making
fast?
patterns, yes, but I'm very fast.
Yeah, I heard.
I am really very fast. It doesn't take me 4 years to do an armhole. I heard that very good designers take 4 years to do an armhole, but I think that's really not 1970. It's a little bit too pompous. It's not true that nobody needs 4 years to do an armhole.
4 years and $20,000 sometimes. I heard.
Yes, I know.
Hey, look,
Yes.
Pat tells me she paints, and she's an incredible
Yes,
looking
and she's
girl as well,
fabulous. She's
huh?
my assistant, and she's a great woman who has a fabulous father with Kurt Vonnegut as her father. He's one of the American greatest writer. I'm married to Gerardo Rivera, which is a great newscaster, and she's a fabulous painter, and she's my assistant.
But she looks like she'd be great in the clothes too. How come why don't you ever put on one of those dresses and come out here and...
Yes, she will. I'll make her put
Okay,
one
will you
something.
do that? Okay. Hey, Cheyenne.
Hi.
What are you doing? What are you in?
I'm putting on this beautiful three-tone chiffon double-decker, listen to me, double-decker robe that Giorgio made for me to hostess one of his fantastic parties he had March 15th for, I guess, just a celebration of his new spring line. He did everything in pastels and with the parasols, as you saw, and this is the one he made for me to hostess in. Would you like to have a look at it?
Yeah, I'd like to see the whole thing.
I need Giorgio here to tie
Yes,
my
sir.
sash. If you would, please.
You need Giorgio to tie your sash?
Yes.
We need Giorgio to do everything but wear the dress, I think.
Oh,
Giorgio,
hello.
No, I can't help but notice that the girls are showing us a lot less attitude than they used to a couple of years ago. There's no dancing and prancing and carrying on. What's the reason
I
for
think
that?
this is really new clothes. And to show new clothes, I need new music. But I don't make music, but nobody has come out with new music. To me, it's the music of the 60s. What I show with 60s clothes, but I have no music to show this clothes. Besides, I think this clothes needs very smooth, soft movement. And the music, the rock and roll of the 60s doesn't go with this music at all. And I don't expect any of my customers who will buy this clothes to really dance to rock and roll with them.
What about, using some Bach or some Beethoven or some of the classics to show the clothes with?
Yes, that's how I show. I show the clothes, and I also show the clothes with Brazilian music, South American, because since nobody has come out with new music, to me that's going to be the next music to come, which is going to be a new music with inspiration of South American beat.
What language do you speak in? You speak Spanish in Argentina?
Spanish, Portuguese. I speak Spanish, Portuguese,
Italian?
Italian,
'Cause I-
French, and a bit of English.
I couldn't help but notice that, you were talking Italian to Christina Ford, who was in here looking at that jewelry. And was that one of your little things, that black sequin with that fur?
No, that wasn't mine. That is a Saint Laurent jacket you wear.
I understand that Mrs. Ford comes in here quite a bit.
Yes, all the time.
What was all that banter
I love
about the
her.
necklace?
Oh, then she has one necklace that she bought from me. Everything she wears goes together with the clothes to the jewelry and everything. And there's another fabulous woman. She's really a woman altogether, and we work together a lot. And she's one of my customers, and she's here all the time.
It's fantastic.
Because she requires clothes, because she has to be in appearances all the time, and so she needs a lot of clothes.
I
for
know
it.
another one of the girls that you do quite a lot with that's a personality as well as a model is Verushka, who's also a good friend of yours.
Yes. Verushka is a very good friend of mine, and that's a superwoman.
Yeah, she's great.
She really is.
I knew at one time you were designing exclusively too for Lena Horne.
I still do. I designed for Lena Horne. I created special things for her because you see all of these women that I work with. Oh, thank you. Excuse me.
Sure. Cheyenne always knows how to get in the spotlight, and here she goes, right back in front of the camera, in front of the mirrors, and this isn't a streetwear, is it?
No, this is what I call a boudoir look. And, I don't like to do old-looking things. For me, everything is new and today. But of this kind of feelings, that's how I grew up. I saw my grandmother for 15 years always looking like this. And she was always a fabulous-looking woman. And she used to call my boudoir clothes. And this is what it is. It's a nightgown with a robe on top, and there's Cheyenne showing it.
This is what all those special ladies wear at.
This is what I expect and the special ladies will wear at home, receiving in their apartments, in their houses.
It's kind of provocative, and
Well,
then their
what do you mean,
nipples and so forth come right through. Do you think that?
Well, I don't know what, and I really get very angry at most of the times about attitudes about women's bodies and things. I don't think it's nothing provocative. Doesn't understand.
Girls
what's
will
going
play,
on.
won't they, huh?
And
You don't think it's
a-
undignified at all then for the nipples to show through dresses?
No, of course not. I think that is really very provincial and very bourgeois.
No, I agree. I think it's fantastic. I love it.
Yes, that's a slip, body dress slip. Then it goes under a dress that she's going to wear now.
That's the slip? I thought it was a dress. It was fantastic. It looked great. Cheyenne is... I know she's doing a lot of sequins still.
Sequins? No,
Sequins.
diamonds.
Diamonds. Hey,
Diamonds, no sequins. No, I haven't. I never do sequins. I never done. Too cheap for me.
I did want to, publicly thank you for, giving that dress to Candy Darling.
Oh,
The last dress. It was very
I feel
beautiful.
very bad. I mean, Candy Darling was such a special thing. Happening. Then it's not going to happen for much longer, again for a long time. And she was a very special person. Something really very special. I love Candy. And I was very pleased and we were able to give that to her.
I know that she would have been pleased too, and I think that
She
we'll all
always
remember
loved
her.
that
And
dress.
yeah, can imagine.
So that's what I gave that dress to her.
Tell me, of all those fabulous rich ladies, did any of them, it's quite a price they're paying up here, huh? $1,000, $2,000 for these dresses? Is that what they're costing nowadays?
Yes, from $1,000 to $2,000. But it's made to order on them. And I think sociologically that is very good and economically it's very good. That permits me to keep fantastic technicians downstairs, women that they really know how to sew and they're fabulous craftsmen. Then if I wouldn't employ them and if those rich ladies wouldn't be buying $2,000 dresses, all those ladies will be in the street or working in machines in factories. So I think it's very important that we keep on doing very expensive clothes and rich ladies only buy expensive clothes. First of all, money should move around, and then second, then facilitates me to employ all of those wonderful people who knows how to sew all these clothes. They're fantastic craftsmen, and otherwise will disappear. And we're going to become in an age where craft and ability of hands is going to disappear, and everything is going to be done by machines. And I think that's going to be a great loss.
But I don't think that, I think we have to, bring out the fact that just because you don't have $2,000, you can still own a Giorgio.
Yes, of course. I have different price lines, which I also believe I have a price line, which the top price for an evening dress is $39 in the stores.
It's fantastic. And you put that same genius and you sort of, you experiment more or less with your custom line and...
Yes, here's where I really introduce the looks, and then it's translated to all the other lines and less expensive prices. I have a medium line on 7 Diamond, which is about up to $125, and then this very expensive line. But not because of the price are lower. The styles are less important or less expensive. Maybe they won't be all hand finishing, and this is what all this clothes is about, and it won't be made especially on top of costume made for a woman's body, which this is. But in all the rest has 100% of my creativity and all the same intentions that I put into this $2,000 in a $39 dress. It's even more important for me because for very less money I have to make it come out the best.
Oh, the girls are looking very romantic and was it sort of lace eyelet type things? Or?
It's cotton lace and handkerchief linen. And this is to me an international peasant look. You'll find this look in all Russia, in South America, in Spain, in Mexico, and it's a kind of an international look.
No, I like it like this. But you should ask him about these dresses because Gail says The original one is very important. It's from Panama, the original. Ask him to tell you about them.
Giorgio, they tell me that there's a story behind the dress beyond what you just told me about the dress originating in Panama, or...
Yes, it's Panama and Brazil, which is what is called in Brazil the baianas women, which is that's what I was saying before about a peasant dress. That's what I say. That is originally is Russian, is Ukrainian, is any kind of peasant, and it's taken in South America, in Brazil and in Panama, is the more or less their national costume. This kind of lace dresses.
It makes them look so sexy and
look how sexy,
pure,
and beautiful and feminine. With those handkerchiefs.
Is it hard to clean dresses like this?
No, these dresses, they should be washed. And the more time they're washed, the better they look. And this is what I recommend to my private customers, is to wash these dresses. Because this is pure handkerchief linen and it's pure cotton laces, so it should be really washed to become more soft and more to your body.
Do you find the ladies, wear these kind of dresses once and then sort of, put them in a closet? Or?
Not in my clothes, and it's very interesting because we were talking before that somebody is organizing a museum show of all my clothes, and they're asking some of my customers to donate their old costumes of mine from the 60s, and nobody wants to do it because they still wear it. And they think that all my clothes are classics, and even Indian clothes, like Cheyenne was wearing Indian dresses last night, and they are classic things. They could be worn all the time.
That's fantastic that you can do that.
It's so feminine. It's just beautiful. I love lace.
You look nice in anything.
Thank you.
Cheyenne.
We talked about how Giorgio constructs his things so beautifully. I want to show you what he does. To keep all this elasticized material pulled down that he designed, he makes it like a swimsuit.
The swimsuit is only one step dressing in that clothes. They don't have to wear nothing underneath but my dress, and the fabric is stretched, so it moves with the body and
Giorgio, didn't you say this was washable as well?
Yes, and this is all washable.
Incredible part.
Completely.
All your collection is washable now?
5 minutes, it hangs and dry. And this is what my private customers love, because most of them travel and they have houses all over the world, and they carry those dresses wherever they go. They never wrinkle. They wash it one night and they wear it in 10 minutes.
When some of your customers are going away for sort of those big weekends, probably in Las Hadas and things, do you come in and design special things for weekends like that?
Yes, I do wardrobes for my customers, yes, definitely. Which in wardrobes mean from bathing suits like you see, to evening clothes, to at-home clothes, to bathrobes, everything. And I do what I call packages. I don't have one example here of this, but I do packages which is like a handbag with 6 or 5 different pieces in a stretch fabric like this. And according to the way they put it, they can swim with the same bathing suit, and at night they attach a skirt to the bathing suit and they go for big evening parties in the same thing that they swam on the day.
I remember that great things you were showing last year where everything tied in one dress became 6 dresses. That was fabulous too.
That was another collection that I don't think much of America understood. And that's really future. I think that's going to be a very important look in a few years. But a woman have to really know what to do with those clothes. They're dresses that you can change and have 15, 20 dresses out of one. And make it look different by different ways you tie it.
Bye, Cheyenne. I know she'll be back, so it's not so sad saying goodbye.
Cheyenne, you don't know what to put next?
You always seem to know what you're going to put on them next. Do you take that in consideration, who each girl is and which dress they're going to wear?
Yes, what type of woman she is, definitely, because I do this clothes for different type of my customers. One type cannot wear certain thing, another type can. Their bodies and their personality. Some personalities can carry a lot of things and some personalities cannot.
Do you ever find any of those girls that sort of... Is there anybody at all who can overshadow their clothes? It doesn't matter what they're wearing?
I beg your pardon?
Hey, they're opening up inside.
You never know what I'm going to talk or not.
You better. I know, you know. So, Giorgio, we're going to, try to talk about something else now. And I'm wondering if there's something you'd like
See,
to
I have
initiate.
show you. I like to initiate. Well,
Yeah.
I would like to show you a little bit of those different looks that I have done before. What we talked about before, which is very modern, kind of moon-like things, and then gypsies and Indians and peasants and costume clothes, which I'll show you a little bit of that. But to me, this is the era of the 70s, you see, so it's really different. And like any era, in the beginning of the 5 first years, it takes people a long time to really change. Like the 60s never came until 1965. There was a lot of people who really began it, but the masses and the generality of people didn't become 60s until 1965, and now this is the 70s, and it's a completely new thing, and for America this should be a very important decade, because politically and economically it's very difficult, and for that reason I think America must look very clean, very tidy, and very together if we are going to stay being the most important civilization of this time. If America wants to be like that, it must look very good in general, and clean and tidy. And I was one of the first hippies, but I can't stand all of that no longer. I don't think it belongs to today. And I think it's very important to represent this country with a very clean and beautiful look.
Do you think that Pat Nixon should be impeached fashion-wise?
Pat Nixon doesn't even enter my mind.
What about Richard Nixon? Would you like to see him impeached?
I don't know if I want to see him impeached. I really think that that is a generation of America. Then you all criticize Nixon, but I think there's a lot of Nixons in this country, much too many.
Well, I hope that.
I think it's a whole era of America. Then it still exists. The 40s is that era of very uptight women, and that they like to look a little bit somehow French because they're so embarrassed of being Americans.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. But do you think that, talking about the French, don't you think, or do you think that New York is the fashion capital of the world right now?
I think New York, yes, of course, but I think New York is the capital of the entire world.
Art,
It's the whole art, and somehow fashion right now. I was talking to a lady who to me is the most important personality in the world of clothing and fashion, which is Diana Vreeland. And she was saying to me, of all the arts, the only one who's moving ahead is fashion. Because the music is still in the 60s, the art is still in the 60s. The only movement related to art that is growing into something new is fashion, and it's absolutely true. Nobody else is doing anything. The people in the streets are still hippies.
What do you think of all those great fashion retrospectives that we're seeing at the Metropolitan?
I think it's very good because I think they show us some quality, which I think is very important for America to learn right now is quality.
This is very pretty.
And I think it's much better for a woman to have one good dress and not 20 t-shirts. Better buy one good dress and repeat it, wear it several times. I mean, if you research in history, queens didn't wear a new dress every day. That's a very American story. Neither you had queens than they had black dresses with pearls. Queens, they were different. And that's what I also do clothes that they're very different for personalities, that they don't want to look like everybody else.
What do you tell me when you go out for a good time in New York? What do you do?
Pajama. I'm sorry. It's a wonderful dinner. Cook by one of those fabulous friends, which are fabulous cook. Then they dress beautifully, cooking at home, and they are entertaining a very beautiful group of people, very intelligent, with new faces all the time, and that's what's all about New York. That's why it's so fabulous. You every day meet somebody new with something interesting in their mind and something new in their mind. And that excites me, and probably going to a dancing. And for me right now, what is necessary is cabarets and entertainment and beautiful things. Beautiful people on the stage. I think we are missing the Marilyn Monroes, the Jackie Onassis, that were leaders in this country. We have nobody to look up.
Tell me, can you recommend to those people out there in New York something you've seen recently or that you want to recommend?
Yes, I've seen it in a very small nightclub on the 20s called Pockets, where they have a very small little cabaret nightclub at night. Only on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock at night, and it's fabulous. A very group of young people who are feeling exactly what I was just saying. I think instead of dancing in discotheque, which is old and it's no new music to dance to, it's better to go to see discotheques, to go and see cabarets. And for me, what I would love to do right now is the Follies. I would like to create a Sant'Angelo Follies for the theater, because I think...
You're going to Broadway, Giorgio, is that what you're telling us?
No, I don't think I have enough money for it. That's very costly. But I would love to do that, because I think that's part of an visual enjoyment, which we don't have. I mean, I don't want to go to the movies to see any more dramas or undressed people. If I like...
Have you seen The Gatsby?
Yes. Bad.
The book was great.
I beg your pardon?
The book was great.
It was great, but it was translated with, I think, very little culture.
Well, they're talking about Mrs. Aldrich going to win the fashion Oscar for the clothes. You didn't like the clothes. Talk to me about that.
I beg your pardon?
The clothes.
I think it was a very little research. Gail, on the pants on the other side, yes, but the pants in reverse, the zipper in the front.
She put them on backwards?
Yes. You see how good they are? They fit either way.
It's fantastic.
And the dress first.
What is she wearing now? Is this the slip?
It's just a nightgown slip, like we were talking before. Oh, sorry.
I'll hold it. I won't wear it, but I'll hold it. Where's Pat? What's this? Is this the dress, Giorgio?
Yes. This is one part. This is three-piece dress.
What are you doing?
There's lace underneath the skirt.
Ooh, it's nice. How does it feel to have Giorgio touching you, Cheyenne?
Well,
That
he's
wasn't
not
enough.
touching me. Oh, he was right then. He's dressing me. There's a difference.
I think you need a little shave here.
I'd like to have the European look sometime.
It's great. Oh, that's beautiful.
Slip dress, one over the other.
And then, one on here.
Can this be worn separately, or
Then you see just the slip with the cape, or just the dress, or just the dress with the jacket.
You have to be mechanical minded to wear Giorgio's clothes to get into them.
you have to be mechanically?
Imagination, no?
Yeah.
I only like people with imagination.
He does wonderful things. They wrap so many ways. You can get so many looks out of his things. That's what's so great
But
about
that's
it.
what it makes it special for women, you see, and then my customers, I like them to put them really the way they want their clothes.
Yes.
Not the ways I just showing them, you know?
Right.
But it just create for themselves different way of looking.
Ooh, that's a good-looking little duo over
and
there, huh?
The little one, she's my favorite.
What do you mean little?
Yeah, she's my assistant.
It's big enough for me.
Yeah, she's my assistant. And she's a fabulous, talented girl. She's a painter, and we work together.
So what does it feel like to be in your favorite dress?
Really, really good. I get all cha-cha in my head when I put this on.
As an artist yourself and as a painter, what do you think of Giorgio's use of color and design?
The best. So that's why I'm working with him. After work we go to my house and we paint and we do the fabric patterns, and it's a very creative and fun thing to do. I think he knows so much about color. I know nothing about color. I just do line drawings. So I learn a lot about it from him.
Does Geraldo like Giorgio's clothes?
Yes, he loves them.
Likes you to be in them?
Oh, he gets me them all the time. All the time. He loves them.
Who gets you Giorgio's clothes all the time?
No one yet. Any offers?
Maybe if I can get a discount, I'll see what I can do. Can you turn around and show us the back? Giorgio, is the back of the dress as important as the front?
Yes. And you see, this is all transparent stretch. And it's very low. That's why we're able to show a very low cut on the dress.
I noticed I'm falling apart there.
Are you ever afraid one of your breasts will fall out?
Well, it occurs to me from time to time.
Does it ever happen?
It hasn't so far.
I guess it's that tension of whether it will or won't that makes part of the excitement of the dress.
Yes, and I mean, if it would happen, there's nothing to be embarrassed about it.
Not with streaking and everything.
No.
What do you think of streaking? Will you streak, Giorgio?
Me? Right now, I don't think so.
Not when everyone else
I
is
mean,
doing it.
exactly. No one everybody else is doing it.
Giorgio did it years ago.
I say, I have a good body though, but
And he's speeding up.
yes, but I don't think so. I think it's not new for me. I don't think nothing about nudity today is new. I think we have gone through that.
Back to being dressed?
Yes, I mean suggestion is good, but I don't think it's nothing important about being nude. If it's just being liberated in your mind, then it's really no problem about that. I think it's some kind of 60s rebellion still.
It wasn't too long ago that 5 of, America's designers went, to Paris to show some clothes, and I was myself disappointed that, you hadn't been included. How did you feel about that?
Oh, well, I'm not a groupie person. I would have never done it anyway, because I don't show in all those fashion shows with all the other designers and things. Nothing because of anything, just except that I think a fashion designer somehow is almost, strong personalities, and it's too many competing egos together, and my own ego is enough. I don't need the others around me.
So, there's Cheyenne. That's fantastic. That's matching parasol. That's great. Are they going to wear this down Fifth Avenue with the parasol?
Oh, I don't think so, Couri. Please, how you gonna ask that?
Where do you visualize this being done?
I don't really make this close to anybody to look ridiculous. This is at any party, in any resort, in Southampton, at your house, entertaining. That's what I saw. Those daytime clothes. You'll see those on Fifth Avenue, but you won't see this, I hope.
Well, here we go. Is this it? I think that now we're going to get to go back a little bit retrospectively. Right, huh? You've been a fan of Giorgio's for a long time, Pat?
I was a friend of his for a year before I worked with him. A fan? Never. A friend.
A friend. That's great. Did you wear his Indian and gypsy looks?
No, when he was doing that, I was really young and in Iowa. So I was very
Iowa?
Yeah.
Where did Geraldo find you if you came from Iowa?
I was passing through.
Tell us about that, huh? What's he like? What's he really like?
We met at Giorgio's birthday party, and I didn't know Giorgio, and Geraldo didn't know Giorgio, and we just met there. I'd gone there by accident, and everyone said, "Where did you meet?" And I never knew. I said, "Just at this funny party, this funny, weird party." And then I'd known Giorgio for a year, and I found out it was his birthday party. It was at Buffalo Bills.
Right.
You were there?
I was there, of course.
You were there. It was
I'm
my
always
first
there.
day in the city. I was going with my father, and he decided to go home, so I went in alone, and then I met Geraldo.
What's it like living with Geraldo Rivera, being married to him, and tell us about it. What's he really like?
What's Geraldo really like? Oh, he's magnificent. He's wonderful to live with.
Do you get jealous of all those women out there who have that big crush on him?
Nah, I'm much better than anything on the street.
That's for sure. That's fantastic.
No, I don't mind.
Well, okay, so I guess that the girls are going to be slipping into
Indians and gypsies and
back
Art
in
Decos
time.
and Art Decos.
What do we got coming to look forward to? Exactly what kind of looks are they going to be walking out in?
All my previous looks, the beginning of my clothes, which was all, the first collection was patches of colors and jersey, very simple clothes, very modern, contemporary looking. Then into my Indians and gypsies.
So many, I know that, probably the
Chinese.
people out there are going to be a little surprised when they look like they're very today. But it's because you're ahead of your time, and what you did then is what a lot of other people are doing now.
I don't think I'm ahead of my time. I think I'm right on time. I think the others are below. Behind, really. Seriously. I do think so. it's natural and it had happened always, then anything is new. And you can say, for instance, how many years took for abstract to be understood in painting. So anything that is new, it is very difficult to understand for regular people. So it takes long time. It took maybe 5 years for a lot of people to understand gypsies and Indians. So some of them, they're looking like gypsies and Indians today. How many people took them to understand the hippie movement? They're just beginning to be hippies now. And that is really finished.
Are you glad the Battle of the Hemlines is finished too?
Oh, I never had that. I never understood that either.
What do you think of Women's Wear Daily and its power of, suggestion to the people out there?
Oh, I think it's important. It's a little bit of a translation of what we do to the public, and some kind of medium should, interpret our work on fashion, and I think that's what Women's Wear Daily does. I think it should be more done into relation to other things just beside fashion, because I think clothes really has a completely right relation to politics and economics. No matter what anybody says about clothes, clothes is the most important thing.
You're not burning yourself. That's...
Don't worry. The most important thing to history and everything you look back, the most important thing of each civilization is being their clothes.
So Giorgio, when did you start putting on that tie, huh? I mean, I remember when it was corals for days and necklaces and bangles and dangles, and like Richard Avedon, in fact, I know he's doing a great new book, and 9 women, 10 great looks, and you're going to be the only guy there.
Yes, with all the different looks I have, but that's me, and I really like to change, because I hate to look at myself always the same in the mirror. And I look at myself in the mirror all the time because I like that, but I always have to look at something new.
You get off looking at yourself in the mirror?
Yeah, definitely. I'm an egomaniac. I am.
You can tell me about your...
I'm not embarrassed about that.
Tell me about your newest...
If you know what your problems are, you should really know them and expose them.
Romantically, what are you doing nowadays? You've got some sort of new love, some fabulous new woman, or something that's really, something you want to tell us about, a little gossip about Giorgio at home?
Always in love. Always in love and always new. This is, for instance, one of the Indian costumes.
My God. That's incredible. Did you make that? Giorgio and his hats. I'll never forget the little hat you made me some time ago. It's fantastic.
This was from the Indian times, and it was inspired. It sounds like a South American Indian.
When was this? 19 what?
This was 1968. And this is from my gypsy collection on Gale. And this was from a gypsy Romanian.
Oh, I love the color, Giorgio. I think that all those blending and the colors is really incredible.
All the different textures. You see, at this time I was doing this clothes is when women used to have those boxes with zippers in the back and stiff cardboard.
Let those boxes live down. I live it down.
No, I can't stand that, because that was a put down for women. They have to have clothes and stay away from their bodies so nobody couldn't know what they had underneath. That Puritan, horrible thing.
Is the hat back, Giorgio? I mean, are you doing some hats?
So. Yes, I do a lot of hats, you'll see. And I have done a hat with the new collection also. But yeah, I think so, because it's, besides, it's decoration. And clothes is nothing else but decorating your mind, really. And decorate your body. That's what clothes is, if we really understand it. And we can become functional, and to me, we can only become very romantic and very with great fantasy in dressing and decorating ourselves, or very functional and practical. There's only 2 types of clothes for me, which means jumpsuits with zippers, which I have done too. But that, nobody wants to be modern, so we should have imagination and decorate ourselves the best. And the most depressed we are and the lowest we are, the better we should look.
How do you feel about you using of real feathers and real fur? As talking about sort of conservation, and how do you feel about using, real furs and real feathers from birds?
I do use real feathers, but the feathers that I use are from grown animals and chicken feathers, which I kill anyway. We eat them, so it's worse to eat them than to put the feathers on.
I agree.
And the furs that I use are all furs, and they're just grown animals for that. I don't use leopards and things like that. No, I never did. So I had never problem with that. I have never used furs than
Tell me,
because I love animals.
what kind of outside interest do you have? I know that this whole fashion thing, this whole concept must take up all of your time. But is there some sort of quiet hobby or something that you do off to the side that maybe nobody knows about?
Yes, well, I paint and I constantly work really because that's really my thing. And I paint and I draw all the time.
What time do you start your day?
Furniture, not too early. I'm not an early person at all, but I'm an all-night person, yes.
About how many hours of sleep do you need to keep this energy high to be designing clothes like this?
Depends. That really depends with my metabolism, the way it works. Sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 10.
Are there any sort of beauty secrets that you can put out or talk about that some of the women might try? Is there something? I mean, you always look
Yes, don't
pretty
eat
great.
when you're working or moving. Don't eat. No, it's true.
You don't eat when you're sitting?
No, I'm only eat when I'm not working. When I'm working, I only drink honey and water.
Little lemon, that's a little lemon too, that all works together really nice.
Yes, but I eat very well and I never put weight and I'm very energetic and I have it.
Maybe we should
But I
talk
don't-
to Michael a minute and see what...
Yes.
Michael?
My business manager.
Yeah, of course, Michael. So I know you're the business
Oh, don't
manager for
photograph me,
Giorgio.
no.
Don't photograph me. Come on. What's it like? Fashion's big business. What's it like
What's it
running
like?
all the diverse interests of
It's just
Giorgio
as exciting
Sant'Angelo?
as this is every day. 16 people coming in at the same time to do something, 4 people to interview them, and a lot of business people coming in to sell things. It's just like selling automobiles. You got a product, everybody comes in your showroom to buy it.
When you first came, were you sort of, how do you feel about meeting all the celebrities, all the Christina Fords and the Lena
always
Hornes?
starstruck. Stay starstruck. Keeps it very refreshing.
But fashion is definitely big business and big money.
It can be, sure. Anything.
For
can.
Giorgio?
Is it big money?
Big money.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Great. Okay. Thanks a lot, Michael. George?
Wrap clothes and patches of colors, which is something that you see today in the mass market on the streets of
Are these
New
the
York.
things that I went that
This was 1968.
when Verushka went out to the Arizona desert and was wrapped in miles of furs and fainted
Yes.
sick? Tell us about that.
Oh, that was a fabulous experience. We lived in Arizona for about 1 month, and we took with us only just rolls of fabrics, scissors and wire, and everything that was put on tape. We made that clothes right on the spot, and everything was wrapped and tied, and her jewelry was stones, and they were just laying in the desert, and we tie on her fingers, and oh, it was a fabulous experience.
And it was so hot that she fainted every 10
Yes, it
minutes or
was.
something?
Oh, that was a funny day. Then she was wrapped in furs, and it was 125 degrees, and she fainted 4 times before we were able to take the picture, but she's a fabulous person.
I also remember when you were telling me the story from my article in Town and Country on What's It Like to Dress the Rich, that we talked about that incredible emerald makeup. And someone wrote and said they wanted the emerald makeup that they saw in Vogue, or what was that story? Tell it
It was
again.
a face that we made for a promotion of emeralds in Vogue, a beauty page, and it was all a face of real emeralds pasted on the face, and it was about $2 million worth of emeralds on this model's face, and somebody ordered it to be made for her on a mask. This is from my first collection, which I call Cinderella collection. It was all ripped chiffons and
Lauren was wearing it on the Tonight Show last night. Yes.
this dress has about 8 years, and everybody wears it everywhere still, and everybody orders and buys this dress. And it's stretched. The first time I begin to use a stretch fabric, and this stretch fabric is my first concert again. It's built on a body dress, on a bodysuit with a dress on top. You see? And
You have nice legs.
yeah, I have nice girls, no?
Definitely, They can borrow the dresses, but can I borrow the girls?
No, they're mine.
Well, maybe I can talk one of them in the lunch sometime.
I told you I'm egocentric, so I don't no. But you see, and that's again what you saw before on beige color. This is black transparent fabric.
And they never wear anything underneath the clothes that you make, except your own under things.
Yes, no, I don't think so. That is not necessary to wear underwear, because I build the clothes exactly with that purpose, to not wear underwear underneath. So I think that really is very old-fashioned.
So, do you find yourself being inspired by all the different fabrics that have, all the synthetic fabrics and that that have been recently invented by DuPont and so forth? Does this give you inspiration?
I'm an industrial designer, so that's one of the things that I do is, for instance, I invent my own fabrics. That stretch fabric I only use, and I have only done, it's made for me, and I tell how to make those fabrics.
Ooh.
The dress, what's that? Was a dress, but it's okay. Eh? It's a black dress that is open all the way down to here. With that, yes.
It's really great fun. I'm having a lot of fun. Giorgio, I want to thank you for letting us up here with our cameras.
But don't you think that that is reminiscent of the kind of clothes that is today? And that is about 7 years ago.
It's incredible. Is there any kind of pressure on you to be constantly ahead of the time or on time? Do you feel at all? Do you ever get nervous or react to pressure or? I guess we've been in the past and we've been in the present and we've been in the future, and this Art Deco collection brings us right up to last year.
Yes, this is my last collection. Last year was a fall collection, and it's very quickly put together of all this. It's really what is today everybody will call, I suppose, the Great Gatsby look, which I have done last year. And there's a chiffon jacket of a slip bias cut dress that you were talking before, black jetted jersey dress, and a diamond leotard with the hats and veils.
I kind of hate to say goodbye because it's been such fun. The girls were so beautiful, and the clothes, and you yourself have told so much and told actually all of New York about what's happening in fashion. And so I hate to say goodbye to this decadent den of fashion, but I guess this is it. Thank you very much, Giorgio di Sant'Angelo. And thank you, Gail, Stephanie, and Cheyenne. Thank you, Anton, Michael, and Pat, and all the rest of you. This is our Couri Hay reporting.
Thank you, Couri Hay.
Thank you very much, Anton Parich.